Starting working on some trees for underneath the Nicholson Bridge. And I thought I'd put together this little video showing how I make the trees. What I've got here is some sedum. They go dormant every winter up here in the upper Midwest, and I imagine they're all over the place. And once they go dormant, actually for me I get them in the spring. You're supposed to pinch off the buds and everything else so they grow again, or cut them off, which leaves a nice long stem like this. And they make some nice trees. And the first step I'm working on is pinching off all the dead flowers from the previous year or from the stems. And we'll get back in just a minute. Let me finish pinching this. Here's the sedum after I've pinched off most of the little flowers, buds, or whatever is on top of them, and I'm left with a little bit of a nice, actually, branch structure for making a tree. You saw I had the strainer in this bucket. What I do is I actually save this stuff. What I do is I just kind of force it through this screen, get it down into smaller bite-sized pieces and everything. And what I'll use this for is, well, I guess it'd be like fallen leaves or just ground cover underneath in various places. It just adds another layer of texture to the scenery below. And as you can see, I'm almost through with this little bunch I had right here. And when I go to actually put it down, I grab a handful, put it back in the strainer, and I just feed it through again. And most of the stuff that's not going to go through, I mean, I'll have so much of this stuff, I'll just pitch this little bit. And you can see I get some nice stuff down below. All right, now that I'm like this, the next step is actually going to be put some cover on it. So what I use, I'm using some Loctite spray adhesive. It's what do they call it? High performance. It's a middle grade 100. I've also used the Loctite spray adhesive, the light. I just couldn't find anywhere at the store I was at. I've also used the 3M Super 77. This is a little bit more expensive than the Loctite, which I really don't need, but it works in a pinch. So what I do is I actually spray it. I leave my stem a little long right now. Keeps most of the adhesive off of my hands. And then from there, it's into the ground cover. And just roll it around, roll it. Create a canopy, a tree canopy. Hold it up and I look at it. It's not bad. I want a little bit more on the bottom. And I know this color isn't showing up real well as far as with that orange background from the tray from the dollar store. And right there I got some pretty decent coverage on it. Now the next step, that is, to me, that's too uniform color. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to soften it. I like the little bit of multicolor. So to do that, I found this stuff. It's Design Master color tool spray. I find this at Michael's. It works good. It's not really a paint. And I looked at the back, and the first sentence it says is it's versatile color formulated for the demanding use of professional florists and decorators. So it makes me believe it might be a dye, and I actually look at some of the vehicle for spraying it, and it contains acetone and isobutyl acetate. So it has a different smell than paint, so it's not really paint. Now to really get this thing to pop, this is very simple, is I hold it about a foot and a half away, and I missed it. Just a little bit. And there's the color. It's really kind of hard. It does not look that good as far as in the video from what I can see. It may end up looking a little different. And that's it. That's a tree. The stem is a little long. And the last step I do is I'm looking for something about 6 inches, which is about from fingertip to fingertip, and a hand slightly open. So I cut off just a little bit at the bottom, and I save these. I use them for ground cover underneath the bridge as well. So now the next step is, it's done, I'm going to plant it. Right here I got a couple of green ones. I don't really have a good one like this, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe right over here somewhere. So I kind of mark it with the stem, and I use a awl, since my subterranean is all foam, just punch a hole. And just a little bit of Elmer's glue or PVA cement at the very bottom. And plant it. And it's about right there. And there you have it. Another way that I'm making the trees, same thing, seed them. This is a much smaller piece, and what I want to do is make it more of a full canopy. So to do that, the first step is I tweaked off all the little buds, and then after that I'll go ahead and give it a spray. And before I spray it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a fuller canopy out of using Craft polyfiber, fill fiber. I picked up this bag, I think it was like $5 or $10 at Joann Fabric, and it's 20 ounces. This should last me for years. And what I do is I just pinch off a small amount and get some spray adhesive on here. And then I take this polyfiber, just kind of tease it out a little bit, and actually just kind of drape it over and gently sticking it down. This doesn't take much. And now I got something that's going to look like this. It doesn't look good. So then again, I take and use this, some of this Design Master. This is the Olive Bright, and what it does is it gives me a nice undertone before I put the foliage on. So there again, I just missed it. Now it's starting to look like a kind of a fluorescent green. I'm not worried about that. And then once again, a little bit of spray on top of it and underneath it, and into my Woodland Scenics coarse turf. And shake off the excess. What happens is, let's see if it shows up or not. I'm getting a little bit of green undertones underneath that. So, and I get a little bit of green on the bottom side. So the next step is to do like I did with the rest of them. And let's go with, let's make this so it's a little bit, probably early of the turning of colors. And here I've got some basil, and then we go ahead and we mist it. Turns it just enough, and it gives a little bit of depth.